You wanna know how I felt after watching Thor Ragnarok? This clip pretty much sums it up. Yes! Yes, Marvel! You've gone and done a bloody Goldilocks on us with the Thor franchise. The first one was too serious, the second one was too meh, but the third one is just right. Oh, screw the credits, let's just dive right in. So guys, Thor Ragnarok takes place roughly about 2 years after the events of Avengers Age of Ultron, and pretty much fills in the blanks as to why Thor and Hulk were not in the amazing Captain America Civil War. They've been off doing their own thing, but a series of events brings them back together in this utterly ridiculous but exhilarating movie. I've never hated the other Thor movies, but I've never really loved them until Ragnarok. I'm gonna have to be so careful here because there's so much in this film that could be considered spoiler territory. But here goes. Directed by Taika Waititi, a guy I knew literally nothing about before this film, he's taken the Thor franchise in a completely bold and bonkers new direction, but it's undoubtedly one of the best Marvel films ever, and also one of the best movies of 2017. Seriously, if you think Marvel is running out of creative juices, think again. Our villain is the goddess of death Hela, played by Cate Blanchett, who has returned home to rule over the Asgardian race. After she destroys Thor's hammer Mjolnir, Thor gets stranded on a random planet known as Sakaar, along with his brother Loki, who is played by Tom Hiddleston. So good to have him back again. Thor is captured and imprisoned, but Loki manages to befriend the ruler of the Sakaar civilization, the Grand Master, who is basically Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum, but in a gold coat. But don't worry, Jeff Goldblum's camp, stuttering mannerisms work perfectly for this film's daft, silly tone. It's here where Thor must compete in this gladiator-styled arena in order to earn his freedom and get back to Asgard so he can save his people from the wrath of Hela. It's absolute madness how bloated this film is with storylines, Marvel Cinematic Universe setup for Phase 4, character cameos, and ever-growing supporting character arcs. But what's even more baffling is just how cohesive it all works together and manages to be its own film with its own identity. Thor Ragnarok is still very much a Marvel movie, and it's still a Thor movie, but it manages to be its own entity because it's so fresh and original. It feels like it has its own new set of flavors, which is down to its hilariously sharp and tongue-in-cheek script, which is delightfully zany and fun. There's a lot of familiar faces, but there's also a feast of new ones, but remarkably, everybody gets something meaningful or meaty to work with here. Cate Blanchett is one of those actors I thought we would never see in a superhero film, but you can see why she would jump at the chance to play a character as complex and as spectacular as Hela. I'd go as far as to say that she's the best Marvel villain since Loki. She's got a great backstory, you understand her motivations, and she's also funny. Tessa Thompson plays newcomer Valkyrie, a former Asgardian warrior with a really engaging rebel to hero arc. Idris Elba, Anthony Hopkins, and even new character Scourge, played by Carl Urban, who all have smaller roles, still get some good material that they can sink their teeth into. And Mark Ruffalo continues to make the Hulk even more lovable. Here the Hulk is a big part of the storyline, and the Hulk is even talking now. I loved the brotherly banter between Thor and the Hulk. It feels like two teenage boys who are forced to live together in the same bedroom, just constantly bickering at each other. But this film belongs to Chris Hemsworth. The man just oozes charm and likability, and every man in the audience feels so inferior when he has his freaking shirt off. And what's great about this film is that Hemsworth actually gets to showcase the fact that he's genuinely funny. He's constantly quipping and being sarcastic and pointing out the absurdity of the Marvel movies in this. It's priceless. And also director Taika Waititi has a small role in this as this rock monster called Korg. And it's kind of like Marvel are giving a subtle middle finger to Fox saying, this is how you do the thing right. What also adds to the unique quality of this film is the design, particularly on Sakaar. The design aesthetic for this film is like if you mix the microchip layout of Tron with the vibrant pop art flair of Andy Warhol and then filled it with props and creatures from a Luc Besson film. It's so striking, and you can tell that a lot of the sets were properly constructed rather than shot in front of a green screen, and that really helps you to get into that world. And the soundtrack of this film is also brilliant. The establishing shots of Sakaar kind of make you feel like you're entering a boss level of an old 80s arcade game. And taking a lesson from Guardians of the Galaxy, it never hurts to have a totally rockin' song like the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin to make a scene feel all the more epic. As far as negatives go for this film, there are a couple points where the film really glosses over a couple of important plot points, such as how Loki and the Grandmaster become allies. And also there are a few shots that were used in the trailer that weren't actually in the final product, and that does bother me. And also there's a couple of character cameos from the MCU, but I don't want to mention their names because I could be verging on spoiler territory. But one of them in particular, even though they get quite a long scene, it doesn't really add much to the story, even though it's really nice to see him or her. So guys, to conclude, Thor Ragnarok is by far the best of the three 3 Thor movies, and it's probably in my top 5 of all the Marvel movies combined. You can tell that the cast were having great fun making this film, and it really shines through onto the screen and makes it all the more enjoyable for us. I'm gonna say it, and not everyone's gonna agree with me, but Thor Ragnarok is actually way more entertaining than Wonder Woman. Not disparaging Wonder Woman, it's still a great film and an important film, but Thor Ragnarok is unique, brash, and gallons more fun. Despite biting off a little more than it can chew, it's still remarkable how cohesive it all feels. Waititi's hyperactive, boyish, imaginative vision really makes for a bedazzling viewing experience. All the cast shine here, the writing is snappy and cheeky, and it's completely unique comparatively to all the other Marvel movies. So for a few issues that do detract a little bit from the film, I'm gonna give Thor Ragnarok a 9.5 out of 10. Almost a perfect score, so you know it's a cracking Marvel movie. Go see it, guys, you won't be disappointed. Quick question for you guys. So I'm saying that Thor Ragnarok is my favorite superhero movie of 2017, but what's your favorite? Spider-Man Homecoming, Wonder Woman, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we're still waiting for the Justice League, but yeah, I don't have high hopes for that. But yeah, what's your favorite and why? Whatever you think, you can let me know in the comment section below, or you can tweet me. And guys, if you do like my videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button for me, okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.